Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I am the co-host, Caliban, and I do all the cooking around here.
We're a couple of magical people ready to Moon Eternal make up this episode. Today we are talking about episode number 179, Taiki Mikata Sutaritsu to Sailor Senshi in Japanese, the English translation, Friend or Foe, Starlights and the Sailor Guardians, and the German title, Der beste Koch der Stadt, the best cook in town.
Der beste Koch der Stadt.
Yes.
The best cook in town, even though he's actually a baker.
Yeah, slight difference.
Does he put those little silver balls on everything? What if somebody who was a baker, primarily, then got a job as a cook? And they're like, hey, your order's up, number 3. It's like, crunch. Why are there silver balls in my burger? Oh, did you catch this morning? Is that what this is?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't order the pheasant. It's great to be back.
Yeah, it is great to be back.
Kind of back. It feels like, well, I've got half a voice. We've got half a studio. And we are struggling to come back, but we're almost back. My microphone is wedged into a cardboard box. And the thing is, and you may have heard this from engineers or professionals, it's not stupid if it works.
It's absolutely correct.
So I hope it's working.
Yeah.
It sounds good to me, but yeah, it's good to be back. And I'd like to think that we got to take a vacation, but it was not very relaxing, our vacation.
No, it wasn't. They tore our studio up, so...
Look what they did. Look what they did to my boy. Look what they did.
I know.
So we'll be back up and running at full speed soon. But yeah, in the meantime, thanks for your patience. It's going to be pretty cool in here.
It will be pretty cool.
We have a much better foundation to do what we want to do going forward.
Yeah.
We're getting new carpet, which doesn't have anything to do with the show, really. But
it insulates for sound.
Well, I guess it does that. But
yeah.
It's going to allow us to put more stuff down in here and do a lot more things. So anyway, that's just, that's a construction update from Just Enough Trope headquarters. But thanks for sticking in with us, and we are excited to be talking about Sailor Moon today.
Speaking of, is there anything on Spotify for this week?
Oh boy, there's a lot on Spotify.
Yeah.
And there's more, both more and less on Spotify.
Okay.
There's more chances to interact with us and our shows, and there is less chances to answer the question, what did you think of this episode? Spotify, they're just like, they're a loose cannon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Spotify was a detective, they would be in their chief's office. And their gun and badge would be on the desk. And the chief would be yelling at them, you wrecked 20 podcasts!
Oh my gosh.
Because Spotify has introduced a new comments feature.
No!
Which has essentially destroyed the Q&A feature. The Q&A feature has kind of been folded into polls, or I guess we can do a manual Q&A, which is what we've been doing in the past. Actually, it's been automatic in the past, where people answer the question, what did you think about this episode? Now there's just straight up comments. So you can go to our episodes on Spotify and just leave a comment.
Okay.
I don't know how that's all that different. I guess it's not prompted, so you could just say, hey, jerk off, don't do that. But if you've been commenting in the past, what you think about this episode, or leaving comments for us about the episodes, you can still do that just by going to Spotify on the computer or on your app and leaving comments on the episode. So we have some salvaged Q&A answers, which will now be comments from some of our listeners from our last show, episode 178, Luna's Discovery, The Real Face of Yachten. The first of those comes from Cosmic Rain, who's got a comment specifically for the both of us. Cosmic Rain says, Mika, loved your topic, literally laughed when I heard it was the history of Japanese cosmetics. And I figured that Cosmic Rain would like that one. And Cosmic also says, Cal, I agree about spicy mango Doritos. Weird but satisfying. Try the hot mustard flavor, so good. And that's where I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. I've tried the mustard Doritos. I forced Mika.
Yes. I tried them as well.
I didn't have a gun, but at stare point to try them, and I don't. Here's my problem with the mustard Doritos. I love gross chips.
Yes, I do know that.
Love gross chips. I would
Yeah.
eat only in convenience in Japan. I didn't get what kind of mustard they were going for.
Yeah.
I figured it would be like a spicy Asian mustard, and I think that's there. But they're also kind of going for like a yellow mustard.
Yes, just
a
basic yellow mustard.
Yeah, and it's got to kind of combine them. And then also, I would expect more of a mustard. I've really thought about this.
Yeah, you have.
Powder taste than a vinegar taste. And they've almost put like vinegar, like French's mustard or something like that.
Yes.
So and I'm the kind of, I dip my chips in mustard, but I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe I need to go back and try it again. God knows I've got a lot of a bag left. But I'll keep trying, Cosmic Rain, if you keep listening. Listener Anna says, no spoiler, but in the manga, there is a reason for Luna and Artie having human brains while comfortable in cat bodies. In my opinion, it's never explained well and leaves the reader with even more questions.
Mika's holding
so still. She's like E.T. amongst the stuffed animals. Did he know he was hiding? E.T.'s a he, right?
I think so.
I got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of questions, but listener Anna has one kind of an answer. That's so interesting. All right, well, I gotta read it. Okay, you can answer me this.
Okay.
Again, at I point, I have you.
Yes.
Is it early or late that they explain it?
In the manga?
Yes.
Late.
Oh, all right. Well then. Okay, well, I'll file that one away. But thanks for the information, Anna. And Cincy Raz says, first we had a solar eclipse, now Hurricane Beryl. What's next? Asteroid Galaxia? Thanks for the years of entertainment. Well, the years aren't over, Cincy, but...
Yeah, they're not over yet, but thank you.
Thank you for the thanks. Yeah, be careful what you wish for, Cincy. Because, lots of fun things are happening in the world.
That's true.
Say no more, say no more. If you want to leave a comment on one of our episodes, you can do that by going to Spotify and not answering a question, just leaving a comment.
Carol, can you tell us what happens on today's episode?
I'm going to do that. But first, I'm going to pay tribute. And I'm going to do something that it seems like we do way too often these days. And that is I'm going to pay tribute to the dearly departed Shelley Duvall.
Oh, yes.
Who is one of my favorite actresses and died, way too young.
Yes.
And it's probably recognizable to people as the wife in The Shining.
Yes.
Wendy. Possibly people know Popeye.
Possibly.
I don't know if they know Popeye or not, but they maybe do. Possibly from her telling you who she is by saying, hello, I'm Shelley Duvall.
Yes.
Over and over and over again.
Hello, I'm Shelley Duvall. Hello, I'm Shelley Duvall. Hello, I'm Shelley Duvall. Hello, I'm Shelley Duvall.
Also in movies like Nashville, a lot of Robert Altman movies. And just one of those actresses that kind of quit halfway through her career for whatever reason. But somebody who is just in the grand tradition of great actors, just a visually interesting person, a person who's able to. I don't really know. I didn't see a lot of interviews with her. I don't know if she was like her characters, but could create a character from film to film that you just totally believed, and yet at the same time was often a person who was unbelievable. Like, who is this person?
Yeah, right.
This person is so strange. But that she was so natural and so good at it. And the more you thought about it, it was like, I could see a person like this being a real person.
Yeah.
That's what I like in movies. I like people that are unbelievable, but yet real, and believable.
Yeah.
And I think that she was just really, really good at that. And it's too bad. Do you have a favorite film of hers?
Probably The Shining, even though she had a real tough time with that.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, I did see Popeye recently for the first time, and she was a really good olive oil.
Don't sleep on Popeye, millennials.
Yeah.
Or Generation Z's. Give Popeye a shot.
Yeah. Robin Williams is Popeye, so there you go.
Yeah. I think that most of the cast is gone. Well, we got Bill Irwin still.
Yeah.
We've got Paul Dooley still.
There you go.
If you take a look at Paul Dooley, you're like, this guy's the first to go. Still around now. Still with us now.
Yes.
Through COVID and everything else. So anyway, enough about 70s actors, my favorite topic. But R.I.P. to Shelley Duvall. And just think how surprised St. Peter will be when he hears, hello, I'm Shelley Duvall. Yes, we know who you are. All right, let's talk about what happens in this crazy episode. An episode that promises really a meeting of sorts between the Sailor Senshi and the Sailor Stars. And does not deliver. Let's talk about the episode.
Oh my gosh.
We're at Juban Library, where Usagi is writing a letter to Mamoru. And she writes, Mamo-chan, my love, in case you were wondering about my love life, because I'm so beautiful, don't worry. I have a no kissing on the mouth rule.
It's weird.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Now, she writes, you're the only one on my mind. And she's drawn a little picture of herself giving the peace sign. And she thinks to herself, I haven't heard from him in a while. I know he said he'd be busy. She doesn't have a number she can call for where he's staying.
Apparently not.
Her letters are coming back with a big red stamp on them. That doesn't tell you anything.
I know.
Or the big story in the paper about the Japan Airlines flight lost at sea.
Yeah, right.
And the days before social media. You know, who knows how you get your news, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, where were you when the Challenger blew up? Oh, I was in third grade class in the hallway.
Right.
And now it's like, oh, where were you when Shelley Duvall died? On my couch.
Yeah.
Scrolling through my phone like I always am.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they didn't have that.
No.
So suck on that, millennials. Usagi turns around and with no fanfare at all, no indication that this is a big deal, Haruka and Michiru are there. And they look about as good as they ever have. Mm-hmm. Michiru is in a light blue striped wrap top with a pale blue colored skirt with matching purse and pink shawl. And Haruka is in a dark blue Oxford with lighter blue slacks and a beige short trench with blue lapels that match Michiru's dress. Oh,
Nice.
fits on point.
Yes.
Michiru says, what are you up to? And Usagi seems embarrassed as Haruka says, she's writing to the love of her life. And Usagi's like, Michiru asks how Mamoru is doing, and Usagi seems upset, but she says, oh, I'm fine. But she thinks, man, I really haven't heard from him at all. Later, like 2 minutes later, in the same place,
Yeah.
in the library, within view of Usagi. So I don't know why this is a different scene. Michiru and Haruka are watching Usagi, and Michiru says, she keeps some things a secret, I guess. And Haruka says, Dumpling isn't her normal self. Oh, well, let's go get our books. Because they're in a library.
Right.
Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance would be a book that they could both enjoy.
I think so.
They'd both be disappointed because it is about neither of those discussed.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
But yeah, they'd be fighting over that one. At Three Light Studio, the boys are hanging out as Seiya picks out a bluesy tune on his guitar, but he stops and says almost to himself, Sailor Moon, enemy or ally? She reminds me just a little of our princess sometimes. I wonder why. Taiki closes his book, which is titled Die Scharfe von Vernunft, or The Sharpness of Reason,
Okay.
which is not a real book,
Oh,
as far as I could tell.
okay. Really
I just
interesting.
want to know that he's sharp in reasoning, I guess. And he says, a totally different person. Don't get them mixed up. Seiya says, but she has a power that we don't have. And Taiki says, even so, we can't be sure that she's our ally. And it's even worse to say that she looks like our princess. And Yaten says, we can still use them to our advantage. Taiki says, I don't know. And gets up and leaves. And Yaten's like, guess band practice is over. Out back at Juban Senior, there's a greenhouse. And in it, Usagi is admiring the strawberries that Makoto is cultivating. And by admiring, I mean eating.
Yes.
Isn't that like Makoto's whole grade? I swear, Teach, there were a ton of strawberries here. Mako says, don't eat the green ones, please. And Usagi says, hey, let's make it our secret and eat them all. But Mako says, we promised that we'd make a strawberry shortcake for everyone. Just then, Mako sees someone else is in the greenhouse, which is weird because the rest of the club is out today.
Apparently.
That or they're like, Mako, do it.
Leave it to her.
Think they're using her?
Maybe.
She's like, does all the work and then everybody shares the grade.
I could see that.
Oh, they're all
happening.
out today.
Yeah.
Oh, another 13 rows to hoe. We see a figure admiring the rose bushes there, and it's Taiki. Taiki holds a white rose and thinks to himself, Sailor Moon, who are you? He remembers a former encounter with her when she said that she'd save the victim of a phage attack, and he thinks, save? An ignorant idea for someone who indulges in happiness when there's a battle to be fought. They'll never know how hard it was for us to come here. And we see him throttling the stem of the rose as blood seeps between his fingers. He says to himself, where is our lady? Well, there's two ladies creeping up on him at this moment, Usagi and Mako. And Mako brandishes her gardening spade as Usagi cowers behind her. Apparently there's been some break-ins lately, is what Mako says.
It's just weird.
But the only thing the thieves took were strawberries? Weird. Where do these strawberries go?
Are we sure it wasn't just Usagi?
They left a pile of little green leaves.
Yeah, right.
Mako uncharacteristically trips over a rake, but not in a Sideshow Bob way, and tumbles into the other room of the greenhouse where Taiki is. And Taiki says, I thought I found a quiet place at last. And Usagi comes in like, Taiki-san! And Taiki says, well, I guess I should surrender this place to you. Ignore the bloody rose. Mako says, oh, you hurt your hand. Let me see. Taiki tries to protest, but in a flash, Usagi wraps his hand up in a handkerchief. And Taiki says, thanks. I'll give you a present for your kindness. He kneels down before a rose and says, O rose, thou art sick, the invisible worm that flies in the night of the howling storm. He has found out thy bed of crimson joy, and his dark, secret love does thy life destroy. Okay. He's paying them with a recitation.
Yes.
How about money? You're rich, man.
Yeah.
You're a rock star.
That's true.
Reminds me of a time that I was outside of a bar. Which time? And I ran into this guy, and I live in the city. You get used to people asking you, not only for money, but for all kinds of things. But this guy came up to me, and he's like, I'd like, some money, but I want to do something for it. So can I sing a song for you?
Okay.
And I was like, that's interesting. I mean, I don't actually, my line, especially then, I still use it now sometimes, even though it's not as true, but it's like, my line's always like, see my shoes? I'm an actor. I don't have any money to give you. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I felt bad for the guy, and I didn't have anything to give him. But I was like, I don't really have anything, but, good luck. And I'm glad you're, in the arts.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, oh, well, don't worry about it, but just let me give you a little song in thanks. And I'm like, and then he sang something, and it's like, I didn't give you anything.
Yeah, right.
If you're good at something, don't do it for free.
Yeah, right.
Guy begging for money on the street.
That's right.
Especially, right?
He should know
I
especially.
felt bad for the guy.
Yeah.
At first I was like, that's a neat idea. And in fact, what nights are you here? Because I'll probably be back on the off nights to do the same thing. In fact, let's coordinate because I need money too.
Yeah, right.
But then he sang it and he had a beautiful voice and I was like, now I feel like a real... was the goal to then get me to go, you know what? I do have a $100 bill in my pocket. Here you go. Because I didn't have anything, but I was just like, all right, thanks.
Feel bad.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was only a few steps above what Taiki does here. Although the girls, actually impressed or not, are like, wow. And he says, it's Blake. As in William Blake.
Yeah.
But Usagi says, Blakeu. Oh, like a coffee Blake.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's said the same way, apparently.
She said, well, if you're Japanese,
yes.
She says, do you want to join us for some snacks? Mako's making strawberry shortcake. Or maybe just shortcake.
Yeah, right.
Taiki's like, wow, English lit, not on the curriculum. Usagi says, did I say something wrong? And Mako says, Blake is the name of a famous poet. And Usagi says, poet? What's that? Something tasty? Is it some new snack? Mako's like, wow, classic Sailor Moon. But Taiki laughs and says, sorry, I have to pass on this cake. Wait a minute. Aren't you in the cooking club, Mako? I have a favor to ask of you. And Usagi says, oh, but you can ask me too. This is a favor for both of us. But Taiki says, no. I'm going to be on a cooking show, but I have to bring some friends. And Usagi's like, oh, does that mean that Mako's going to be on TV with you? Taiki says, shut up. You seem good at cooking, tall one. Will you help me? Mako blushes and says, sure, but what did you have in mind? And Taiki says, it doesn't matter. You know, do the strawberry thing. You know, you got plenty of strawberries. This whole time, we're panning back and forth between them, and Usagi's following this like a tennis match. Like, Mako says, actually, I promised these strawberries to my friends. But Usagi covers her mouth and says to Taiki, it's all set. And as a reward, can I visit the studio? That's okay, right? And Taiki's like, what? Why? What? And Usagi says, I'm Makoto's assistant. Thank you. And Taki's like, fine, great. We cut to the park, where many people are enjoying this nice weather. Among them, sitting on a fountain, is Nezu, who looks up from her magazine and says, hey, it's a nice day. A nice day to have a no-work job. We see her looking at a trio of shop girls eating bento on a park bench, and she says, you know, I got this feeling lately that I'm just a clog in a big machine. I must be losing interest in my work. I can handle things.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says. Like dumb, I'm smart and I want respect.
As she takes a bite of her sandwich, her magazine falls open to an ad for a taping of The Master of Cooking. And she says, hey, a great idea. I need to find a target anyway. I hope they're making ragat and manicotti, buffalo mozzarella, macaroni and gravy. Nezu's picnic basket rings. She pulls a phone out and answers it. And a voice says, Galaxia is calling. And she's like, ugh. As we smash cut to Sailor Iron Mouse stepping out of the elevator into the space room. She bows before Galaxia and asks, how can I help you? We hear dark female laughter and we see two shadowy figures appear before her throne. One with wings and one with a lot of hair. Mm-hmm. I get scared when I see bad guys. Shadowy bad guys with lots of hair. I'm just telling you.
Yeah?
I have a PTSD reaction to that. But I'm going to take the show at its word. Mouse is like, ooh, I can see you busy. I'll come back later. But Galaxia says, oh, you don't have anything yet? The true star seeds? And Mouse says, oh yeah, I know where they are. Almost. I'm smart. And Galaxia says, almost? Are you sure they're true star seeds? And Mouse says, maybe. And Galaxia seems pretty mad. And she raises her arm and fires a blast of energy from her bracelet that knocks Sailor Iron Mouse to the ground. Grid. Galaxia says, listen, I hate waiting. I got no passion, I got no patience, and I hate waiting. Oh, get your ass in and let's ride. Mouse sits up and says, hey, I understand. Nika Pichi. And again, the shadowy figures laugh.
Oh my gosh.
Who the hell is this now? We got Hawk Girl and we got Medusa.
Yeah.
That's not even canon. It's Marvel and DC. That doesn't make any sense. At Ray's place, the girls and the cats turn on the TV just in time for Tetsuro Yoshinagawa's Have Fun Eating with My Friends. I thought this was the Master of Cooking.
Good point.
What is it?
I don't know.
I have fun eating with my... That sounds more like a Japanese title.
It does.
For a show. Although Master of Cooking, I can see that too. But there's a good bit here. If you look a little deeper. It's kind of like the cookbook in the Twilight Zone, To Serve Man.
Oh my God.
And then it's on the Simpsons, and it's like how to cook humans.
Yes.
How to cook for humans.
Yeah, right.
Oh, this book says friends. No, it says, have friends. Oh, that seems nice. Wait a minute, there's more dust here. Have my friends. Okay, well, you're sharing? Sure. Wait, that says, have fun, my friends. Oh, there you go. That's a nice thing to say. I like that. Oh, my God. It says, have fun eating my friends.
Oh, my God.
No, wait. Have fun eating with my friends. Oh, thank God. With is doing all the work in that sentence.
Yeah, I would say
That's load bearing. We learned that today.
It's a harmless cookbook. It's just a little dusty.
Tetsuro the chef says, today's guest is a man. Also, I guess this is supposed to be a TV guy because his eyes are squeezed shut the whole way.
Yeah.
He looks like you would a caricature of a evangelical pastor or something like that. He's just so friggin' happy. He's like, today's guest is a member of the popular group, 3 Lights. It's Taiki. And we see Taiki in an apron. At Ray's, Ami says, Makoto taught him everything he needs to know. Right? And Ray says, wow, idols are expected to do everything. And Minako says, I'm really jealous of Mako. She gets to be on TV with Taiki. I keep getting tackled by his security. On the show, they're introducing Makoto, and she looks a little embarrassed, a little stage fright.
Yes.
She's like, hello. Behind the cameraman, Usagi is also in an apron. She says, you can do it. Tetsuro, it's like Tetsuro. Tetsuro and Canada, my 2 favorite characters from the movie Akira. Tetsuro! Canada! From Akira. Tetsuro says, these are the jokes. Tetsuro says, let's have Taiko and Maki make a dish they're good at. Homemade strawberry shortcake. And Ray's like, what? And Mina says, our strawberry shortcake? This is the last cake. Straw. And Luna says, there may be bloodshed. Is Luna just in the Groucho role now? Is that what she does? That's fine, I think so. In the studio, we see Nezu waiting in the wings as Taiki begins making the sponge cake. He says, we need eggs, Mako. And Mako goes off to get the eggs, but she can't find them. And off camera, Usagi's like, there. The eggs are right there. Oh, I'm so nervous. Mako starts rummaging around for the eggs and accidentally knocks them off the table, but Usagi slides in and grabs them in her hands and mouth, strangely. Taiki says, where are those eggs? And Usagi comes into the shot and says, here they are. She cracks them into the bowl, but she gets some of the shells in there, but she grabs a whisk and says, if you mix them well, it's no problem. And Mako's like, oh no. Back at Ray's, Ray and Mina are like, why is Usagi there? And Minako says, I would just call this cheating. She's the expert. In the studio, Mako is adding the flour, and Usagi says, I got it. And she starts banging the sifter, filling the studio with flour dust. She keeps mixing the bowl, and Mako says, okay, now we bake it in the oven. And Usagi is pouring the mixture into a pan, and Tetsuro leans in and says, hey, who are you? Usagi's like, here we go. And she puts the pan in the oven. Meanwhile, Makoto says, the flour is right here. So what's in the cake? And the oven explodes, filling the room with something brown goo.
Yeah.
I don't think...
It's supposed to be, I think, like the dough or what have you.
But there's no dough. It's just baking soda, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Which is just calcium carbonate.
Yeah.
Which if you heat up, eventually will give you sodium oxide, I guess, something like that. Something like a corrosive powder.
Okay.
And CO2. But not explosively.
They just wanted it to
explode. And it doesn't
explode,
create brown goo.
Yeah, right.
Right, but they're like, you put the thing and stuff. Oh, no.
Brown goo. Everybody knows this.
These writers, I'm guessing they're not too good in the kitchen.
Yeah, they're not bakers.
I'm guessing the wife does that.
Yeah,
and they're
I
like,
think so.
Oh, remember that one time? If you put the wrong thing in the oven, then, oh! Yeah, just like that. I'm just worried about those poor strawberries.
Do you think they got eaten?
The show director's like, what? Cut to commercial! Cut to commercial! Tetsuro calls for the substitute sponge cake because he's a pro.
Yeah, had one made already.
He's got that Julia Child one made already. Pull that out.
Yes.
And producer Nezu agrees as she watches them get to work. She says, he's the holder of a real star seed. Usagi's still trying to figure out what went wrong as Taiki is looking at his soiled face in a mirror, and he catches a glimpse of Usagi, and he starts laughing as he says, you've got a dirty face. Weird guy.
Yeah.
Usagi says, no, you. And Taiki thinks, this is the second time she's made me laugh. How many years has it been since I laughed? Let's see. Dirty Grandpa came out 8 years ago.
Oh my God.
Seiya and Yaten arrive at the studio and they say, he's laughing. That's weird. Was Dirty Grandpa on cable? Later on, the on-air light goes out above the studio door and Usagi and Makoto emerge, with Usagi regretting the big mess that she's made. But Mako says, don't worry, Tetsuro covered it in the second segment. He's a real pro. Everyone was surprised, though, when you just popped up. And speak of the devil, Tetsuro appears, and he says, that's right. To jump into a live show, you gotta know where you are. But I had fun anyway. We should work together again. Have your people call my people. Later. As he walks off, Usagi says, you mean I get to be on TV again? And Mako says, I think he was just being nice.
Yeah, probably.
It's not that great, Usagi, being on TV. If you did it today, you would now have a WikiFeet page. There's no one watching that you want to see you. Trust me. We hear a scream from around the corner because it's time to get to the villain part of the episode. And we see Sailor Iron Mouse hard at work removing his star seed. And Iron Mouse really misses a chance for a food pun here.
Yes.
Today we're going to make seed cake. You know?
Oh my God.
Or like, don't forget the star anise. Or something. But nothing. Instead, the girls transform into Sailor Senshi, and we get the whole thing from both of them because, boy, we're short on story this week.
Yep.
Back at the assault in progress, Tetsuro's star immediately blackens. Here's where the star anise bit could have gone. But the cupboard is bare. And Mouse says, shoot, not a perfect star seed. This is going to be a problem, isn't it? But we hear, hold it right there. We like good food. And Mouse says, so? And Sailor Moon says, you're bullying the people who make great dishes. And Jupiter says, we won't forgive you. And Mouse says, oh, okay, well, I gotta go. I got a job to be at where I don't do anything. Sailor Chef, take care of that thing for me, eh? Arrivederci! And she steps into her phone booth and disappears. Tetsuro transforms into the already spoiled Sailor Chef.
Yes.
Get the timing of things worked out here. You got the cart before the horse. Who is a Tin Man robot looking guy?
Yeah.
But he's like made of pots or something?
Something like that,
Well,
yeah.
he's got a little cute little face.
He does have a cute little
Actually,
face.
he looks like the start of a particularly messy Thomas the Tank Engine Rule 34 fic. That's all I'm saying is what he looks like. Don't want to see that. The little engine that could, though. Out of the pot on his back, he draws and throws a bladed frying pan. You know what knives are, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them in the kitchen.
Yeah.
This is a frying pan with blades on the side. It's like Kroll's frying pan. And the girls dodge it, but it boomerangs back and slices up the plants in the hallway. It makes julienne. See, there's all these jokes that they're not doing. And so Sailor Moon screams, kawaii! Jupiter gives with an oak evolution, which slams into Chef, knocking him to the ground, and all of his implements fall out of his pot. And he's like, oh no, my tools. Oh, this is Teflon. And as he's fumbling for them, Jupiter says, now Sailor Moon. And Sailor Moon begins charging her shtick. But Chef gets on his knees and says, please, one moment, I'll give you this. And in his hands appears like a pineapple chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Looks like a gâteau or something like that.
Yeah.
And Sailor Moon is like, ooh, that looks good. And Jupiter says, you just ate a strawberry shortcake a while ago. And half of the brown stuff they cleaned off the walls.
Yeah, right.
It had egg in it.
Oh my God.
Usagi says, shortcake and chocolate cake are different, which is the culinary equivalent of that was that and this is this. And she forks up a big piece, and as she bites down, Chef says, you're too sweet. Like, you just activated my trap cake. Usagi, who cannot see stainless steel death 4 inches in front of her face, is like, yes, it is sweet. And Chef draws a carving knife from his pot and holds it aloft. He yells, "Cut into 3 equal parts!" And the 2 world-saving heroes just gawp as the knife comes down. But at the last second, Sailor Star Maker knocks Sailor Moon out of the way. She gets up to face Sailor Chef, and she says, say it with me, Star Gentle Uterus! Actually, I think chocolate is the only thing that can tame the gentle uterus. Isn't that true?
I think you're probably right about that.
The attack hits Chef dead center, sending him to his knees, and Sailor Star Maker just walks off the field. Just exits stage right, just leaves the fight. Hit fast, fade away. That's a star. Where is she going?
I don't know.
Sailor Moon gets up and now gives us the shtick, and Tetsuro is returned to his celebrity chef self. I'm not saying that 3 times fast. We see all 3 Sailor Stars watching from across the room, and they all run off. As Jupiter says, it seems like she protected you, didn't she? And Sailor Moon thinks, I wanted to thank her, and my cramps are gone. Later, we see 3 lights in a hallway, and Seiya says, Taiki, it looks like you had fun today. And Yaten says, yeah, I saw you laugh. The first time since Dirty Grandpa. And Taiki is thinking, is she a friend or a foe? Why did I save her? I've never felt like this? ? Why? And he looks at his bandaged hand and thinks, maybe that girl made me feel so... ... What does he feel?
I don't know.
You make me feel like that.
Later at Fruit Parlor Crown, see, now we have to have 2 resolutions because we've got 2 sets of heroes now. You notice that?
Yes.
It's like, what do you think, Stars? Live to fight another day. What do you think, Sailor? Oh, you're just eating? Okay, never mind. The girls are eating some strawberry shortcake, and they're loving it. Meanwhile, Usagi, who has treated them, is watching moths come out of her coin purse. It's a great little bit. And Ami says, you okay, Usagi? And Luna says, don't worry, it's all her fault. And Ray says, yeah, because you wanted to be on TV. You gave away all the strawberries. But Mako says, don't be mad, she's sorry now. And Usagi bitterly drinks her complimentary water. At the seashore, as the waves roll over the dolos along the quay. Yeah, I got surf terms.
Wow.
Haruka and Michiru lean against their car as Michiru says, a new wave is coming, isn't it? And Haruka says, could be the biggest one we've ever seen. This is not rejected porn dialogue. Michiru says, our battle seems endless. And Haruka says, I don't care as long as I'm with you. Even if we have 45 seconds of screen time, it's worth it. What's up with bringing these girls back? And also, I'm a man of suspicion.
Yes.
2 girls come in, 2 other girls come in.
Yeah, that's
One of these
true.
girls have wings, and the other one wears a long wig. Are they working undercover for Galaxia?
I don't know.
What's the there's one Iron Mouse. There's got to be more Star or Evil Star Galaxy Star sailors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Eagle sailors.
It's easier to talk about jetties and quays, and the dolos around them than to keep these sailors straight and their stars. That's all I got.
Not a whole lot going on in this episode?
Well, we don't want to review the episode before the review.
Yeah, right.
So instead, let's talk about the entire series of Sailor Moon.
Okay.
Why did we come back if there was nothing to say?
You feel like there's nothing to say?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you feel that way?
Episodes like this make me feel like that. There have been the suggestion of other things. I have had people are probably have tinnitus listening to me talk for 175 episodes about how I would improve the series or where I think it could go. And they're older now. And although sometimes that makes a difference in their lives, it generally doesn't.
Yeah, you're right.
And in their rush to return to classic Sailor Moon, they have given us something that probably would have blown our socks off, if it's a bat lady working at a radio station or something like that, back in the single digits. But at this point, it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, right.
There's a reason that it was tough to write the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones is because half the characters are dead and the other half are hopelessly entangled in their political machinations.
Yes.
And their relationships. I don't expect Sailor Moon to get that deep, but I expect Sailor Moon to have a shorthand that goes beyond, you know how a monster works, you know how they transform, you know that somebody, not Mamoru this season, but somebody's going to come in and save her at the last minute. Those are the things that we understand and take for granted, but I would like to see the introduction of new status quos.
Sure.
And not a return essentially to a point of sameness. We've talked about how worthless Usagi was in like the first season, to the point where everybody's dead, so you're up.
Yeah.
Baby doll.
Right.
Hopefully their ghosts will show up and help you like Goku. And that's how we win. To the point where at the end of Supers, thank God, Usagi's like, your tricks aren't going to fool me. Like, I know how this works.
Yeah, right.
Let's get this bitch.
Yeah.
Do we throw all that away?
You think we threw that all away?
You either throw it away and reboot, or you have her be a 9th grader and be a young woman and recognizably different.
Yeah.
And I don't, we're straddling the line between those two things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't want to lose that essential Usaginess, but if you're just going to reboot this, essentially, except they're older, then do that. But we've got these episodes where there's like the one with the nun, and it's like boyfriend, a commitment to something and religion. It's like, these are things that wouldn't have been in the first season when they're having candy and handing out Chanellas to each other,
Right.
But then now it's like, oh, I like cake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like overly simplistic.
Yeah. I want to imagine that it's all building to something and not like the last 2-part episode where they remember, oh, it's over now.
Right.
Get everybody together.
Right.
One day Luna comes to them and goes, there's one more thing that I just remembered, you guys. As, a Star Destroyer. But a real sparkly one is bearing down on Earth or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? William Blake. You love William Blake.
William Blake.
William Blake.
Is your name really William Blake?
I think that they are missing out on an opportunity to show them being older and what that means.
Well, we know how we feel about that.
Yeah.
Should we do it?
Do what?
Let's tease. Now, it's not, I always hate it when you tease something and then it doesn't happen. We're going to tease this and it is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of an advertisement for our Patreon. So it fits here too. Not recently, this happened Christmas last year, but I'm sure you might have heard that they they practically live together.
Yeah.
But they got the 5 stars of live action Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon together in a room and filmed it for the 20th anniversary, essentially, of PGSM as a show.
Yeah.
We, of course, covered PGSM on Patreon. All the episodes still there, available to hear us talk about the food, fun, and fashion of 2000s Japan.
Yep.
But we were excited to see this reunion between these 5 lifelong friends. And they make the point in the special that they've known each other longer than they didn't.
Yes.
Which is incredible.
It is incredible.
And it's a fun special, and we are going to be covering it on as a sort of like follow-up episode on our Patreon. So look for that very soon. And maybe, just maybe, we put our money where our mouths are. We put the pedal to the metal and the pen to the paper, and maybe we've got a little pitch for what a reboot series would look like.
Yeah.
A reboot, a continuation.
That's right.
So look for that maybe on the Patreon in the future. But are you saying that you want something like that in this? Because I think they've got 4 more. They're not even done with 9th grade, right? They got 4 grades to get through.
Yeah.
If this show had gone on to 8 seasons or whatever, I would want, the whole thing. Oh, it's junior spring fling. Oh, who's going to take me?
Yeah,
I want all the high school things.
Right.
But we left school as a concept behind somewhere at the end of R, and we never came back to it.
No, you're right.
So what are they going to do now?
I don't know, but I really feel like they could have shown some more stuff to like show that our girls are older and more mature and
training bra shopping or something?
No. Nothing like that.
Well, what then?
just shown that
The driver's license episode.
the driver's license episode.
Like Dragon Ball.
Sure.
Mako rips the steering wheel off.
I mean, maybe see them dating in a way that's more mature and
I love that.
yeah.
But a show, this is in the mid-90s.
Yes.
This was all conceived in the late 80s, became a show in the early 90s. A shoujo high school magical girl series
Yes.
is not going to do that.
Probably not.
It's shoujo, it's romance. There's one man for her. There might be Jacobs, but there's always an Edward.
Yeah.
And you got to keep Edward and Bella apart for as long as possible until you finally let them get married at the end.
Yeah, you're right.
And so I would like to see that too. I'd like to see them go on dates. Spider-Man did this a lot. And when we say before he got married, I mean more than 30 years ago when Spider-Man got married.
Yeah, right.
We're all very old.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man would do this, you know. He would be, finally Gwen agrees to go to the museum with him, right?
Sure.
But that's when the looter attacks.
Yeah, right.
To steal the meteor or whatever. And so he's like, what do I do?
Right.
And so he runs away and Gwen's like, what a coward. What did I ever see
Right.
in this guy?
Right.
And Spidey wins, he beats the looter and everything, but now he's lost Gwen, and you could be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're never going to do anything like that because they can't actually have dates and every guy that they meet is like a single-serving boyfriend, you know?
Yeah.
They're worse than George Costanza. He dated so many women
Oh my gosh.
on that show. Right?
Yeah.
Did he date Marissa Tomei or he thought that he could land Marissa Tomei?
I
if
can't
he
remember.
Had the chance. Big Seinfeld
Either way,
fan?
it's
Big Seinfeld fan.
I like Seinfeld.
What's your favorite episode?
Oh boy, you would ask me that.
Oh, there's an easy answer.
I don't know.
The Chinese restaurant episode.
The Chinese restaurant episode? I don't even think I remember that one.
Big Seinfeld fan.
Hey!
Would you recognize the color of television tuned to a dead channel?
Have you seen attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion?
Is Neo Tokyo about to explode?
Are you a technical boy or a razor girl?
Do you live 20 minutes into the future?
Do you dream of electric sheep?
Do you know Kung Fu?
If your answer to any of these questions is yes, you may be a cyberpunk. And your only hope is Mona Lisa Overpod.
On each episode of Mona Lisa Overpod, we try to answer the question, what is cyberpunk? By diving into the movies, TV shows, and literature of the genre that takes a hard look at the future we're living in today.
Mona Lisa Overpod is available wherever you get your podcasts.
Jack in with us as we punch deck and snow crash our lawnmower? Man?
Oh man, you had it right up until the end there.
Hack the planet!
Right on.
Today for Kero Kero Miru, or Curiously Looking Around, where we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode, we're going to be talking about Iron Chef.
I know two things about the Iron Chef.
Okay, let's hear it.
Number one, I guess he's a pan. Otherwise, he'd be the stainless steel chef. If he was like a knife or something. So forget that. I know one thing about Iron Chef. I know that in the American version, Mark Dacascos, the Vanishing Sun guy.
Yeah.
I guess the John Wick guy now. He eats the pepper. He's the nephew of the chairman or whatever.
Yeah, he is.
But otherwise, I don't know anything about this show.
Oh, well, you're in for a treat.
This segment is for me.
That's right.
And listeners like me.
Tetsuro Yoshinaga's
Oh my God!
Let's Have Fun Eating with Friends
Oh,
is a TV show.
I thought you were going to tell me that the Iron Chef's name is Tetsuro. I was like, wow.
No, that would have been great.
I'll just shut up.
It was a TV show that Mako, Usagi, and Taiki appear on. And we thought we'd talk about one of Japan's most well-known cooking shows, Iron Chef. Iron Chef is a well-loved TV show in Japan and around the world. It made food competition a spectacle and each episode exciting to watch.
Is it safe to say, and maybe you've got facts that'll let us know about this, that it is kind of the model for all modern cooking shows today?
All modern, like, competition
If
cooking
you're
shows.
on
Food Network.
Chopped?
Yeah.
Is that one?
Yeah, that is one.
Namby Pantry? I don't know. I don't watch these shows.
Like, Nailed It is another one.
Okay. Nailed it.
Yeah, it's nailed it as like...
Is that a cake one?
It's like a cake one, and they try to duplicate like what some like Master Chef has made, and they're not a Master Chef.
Yeah.
And so it usually ends up looking like really bad.
Oh boy, the Schadenfreude. It's high in that one.
Yeah, exactly.
So every show that's like at the end, they're like, da-da-da. They're like, would you mind telling me why this is so good?
Yes.
I can't believe that you would bring something so great to me. Pack up your knives, because you're going to the next level. It's like, wait a minute, what?
Which way are we going here?
Yeah.
From Wikipedia, quote, Iron Chef Ryori no Tetsujin literally means Iron Men of Cooking, is a Japanese TV show produced by Fuji Television. The series premiered on October 10th, 1993.
Why are you looking at me?
Why would I be looking
There's only
at you?
365 days in a year.
It's your birthday. That's why I'm looking at you.
Doxing me.
I know, all right. It was stylized cook-off featuring guest chefs challenging one of the show's resident Iron Chefs in a timed cooking battle built around specific theme ingredient. The series aired 309 episodes. There are 5 spin-offs, with the latest being Iron Chef Quest for an Iron Legend.
What is it like? Iron Chef Ryder.
Yeah, right.
Ryder. And there's the one where there's a team of Iron Chefs.
Right.
They're all like, hey.
In the spin-off at the end of the season, the highest scoring challenger returns to face off against all 5 Iron Chefs in hopes of becoming an Iron Legend and receiving a golden knife. The host of the show was ostentatious Takeshi Kaga, known on the show as aristocrat Chairman Kaga. He began most episodes with his signature words taken from Arthur Rimbaud, Jadis si je me souviens bien, if memory serves me right, and started the cooking time with the phrase "Allez cuisine."
Allez cuisine, I get. Why does he say if memory serves me right?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest.
What?
Yeah.
I don't... Other than the Frenchness of cooking. The French. What? Why does he do that?
I don't know.
All right, listeners, write in. That's your comment. This is the magic comment for Spotify. Tell us why the Iron Chef quotes Rimbaud before he begins to Iron Chef. Iron Chef got to quote Rimbaud before he can Iron Chef.
That's right.
I'll tell you right now. Weird.
The show had 2 commentators, Kenji Fukui and Yukio Hattori, a food scholar and founder of the Hattori Nutrition College. The college offers certification courses and full degree programs in culinary arts and dietetics. A floor reporter, Shinjiro Ota, reported to Fukui on what the Iron Chefs and competitors were making, their game plan, and comments. Interrupting Fukui's commentary with a polite "Fukui-san," the commentary covered the history of competitors, ingredients, and other background information to give viewers context for what was happening in the kitchen.
Is it like the pepper is his Madeline?
Maybe.
He bites into the pepper and he's like, ah, yes, I remember the Iron Chefing of old. That's his spinach.
Yes.
His Popeye spinach.
That's right.
This is going to haunt me. Like the taste of Proust's Madeline, this is going to haunt me. It's old Japanese guy spouting French.
The story behind Iron Chef is retold at the beginning of every episode of the English dub. A title card with a quote from the famed French food author
Oh my God.
Jean-Anselme Brillant-Severin first appeared. "Tell me what you eat and I'll tell you what you are." Then it said that Kaga, quote, realized his dream in a form never seen before, end quote, and specifically constructed a cooking arena called, quote, Kitchen Stadium, end quote.
Kitchen Stadium.
That's right.
5 cooks enter, 1 cook leaves.
That's right. There, visiting chefs from around the world would compete against the Gourmet Academy, led by 3, later 4 Iron Chefs. Chairman Kaga himself was part of the over-the-top showmanship, dressing in flamboyant men's formal wear and taking a bite out of a yellow pepper at the beginning of every episode.
Memory serves. This is so ostentatious.
Yes.
And this is on right before Human Tetris?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
The 3 original Iron Chefs were Iron Chef Japanese.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
right. And then later on, are my boobs made of chocolate? Right. Okay. Yeah, like grand tradition on these Japanese shows. Go ahead, continue.
The 3 original Iron Chefs were Iron Chef Japanese, Rokusaburo Michiba, Iron Chef Chinese, Chen Kenichi, and Iron Chef French, Yutaka Ishinabe. At various times, they stepped down and new chefs came on in their stead. Masahiko Kobe was added as the fourth chef, Iron Chef Italian.
Okay, wait. All right. I know that language can be a barrier here, but if you're really going to assemble the Running Man crew of international chefs, these should be nationals, right? An Italian national.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
This is Giuseppe Manolo, and he got the manicotti, right?
Yeah.
And then you get like, the best Argentinian chef. He's going to make all these dishes. But instead, it's just like, that was the class I took.
Yeah.
All right.
That's pretty much how they do it. Like,
well, look, I can't beat them. I'm just saying, if I was going to assemble a team of cooking Avengers,
yes,
I'd go outside the 6 islands.
I agree with you. I probably would as well.
All right.
That's
well,
not
hopefully
how they
they'll do that on the Netflix show. With Google Translate now, it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, you're right.
Just be like the Scottish chef is yelling at him or something like that. He's like, I got haggis. That's all I got. Translator. Like the UN of chefs.
Yeah, right. Hiroyuki Sakai took over as Iron Chef French, and Kume Nakamura and then later Masahiro Morimoto took over as Iron Chef Japanese. In the beginning, contestants fought with each other in initial battles to earn the chance to fight an Iron Chef in a 90-minute battle. So, should a contestant win twice against Iron Chefs, the contestant would be given the title of Honorary Iron Chef. However, this configuration was unpopular, so they discontinued the initial battles and made the main contest 60 minutes. The awarding of Honorary Iron Chef titles to contestants also went away, but this title was given to retiring Iron Chefs. Challengers who beat an Iron Chef had to settle for, according to the English version's introduction, quote, the people's ovation and fame forever.
So that's right. Well, I like that they put their ingredients where their mouth is. I guess we all do that when we eat. Because I'd like to see like, it's not flaky enough, Mary Berry. Get your wrinkled ass down here and let's do this. Do you know what I mean? Like,
tell you about soggy bottoms
on the bake-off. Yeah, get your soggy bottom over here, and we're gonna go head to head.
That's right.
You, an old lady from TV, and me, a scrappy homeless person from Philadelphia or something like that.
Well, they do try to get,
I don't know who competes on the baking show.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they have to have stories, right?
Yeah, they have to have stories. They're upcoming bakers, but they're, they're not recognized as being...
Right. They don't... They're not... It's not like some guy's taking, a break from his 40 store franchise of baking places.
Right.
No, it's like...
They're up and coming.
I'm 17 and my entire family was killed in a shark attack and...
Oh my gosh!
I'm trying to get enough money for... Yeah. So they're trying to... Yeah, okay.
Shark repellent, everybody. It works.
And some off-color jokes from the Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, that's true.
Back to the baking.
Yeah, you got it. I love a baking show.
I think I would like a reality show if I couldn't just come up with a better one in my head. Isn't that kind of... the guy who created Gladiators saw, like, The Running Man, right?
Probably.
And was like, what about they're all, like, America?
Yeah, right.
Not just Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, right.
And then, but they don't actually kill each other.
Yes.
But they are going to sign these forms before they go out there.
Yeah, they have to sign these forms.
And shoot the Nerf bazookas at each other.
Before the actual taping, chefs are given short lists of possible food themes, allowing the producers of the show to get any ingredients that may be needed. Judges' primary goal was said to determining which chef was able to, quote, best express the unique qualities of the theme ingredient. Theme ingredients tend toward the exotic and expensive. Many theme ingredients reflect the Japanese origin of the show: river eel, tofu, udon, though ingredients more familiar in the West, such as bell peppers, corn, and peaches, are highlighted as well. In one episode where the theme ingredient was asparagus, the challenger boasted that he used over $1,000 worth of lobster, which he then threw away just to flavor his asparagus.
What lobster flavored asparagus?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just really expensive.
But what was it? What was the dish?
I don't know what the dish was exactly. But...
Just asparagus spears infused with lobster?
Yeah.
Why not make like a risotto or something like that with lobster and asparagus?
Yeah, that would almost make more sense. But I guess he just wanted to go for the flavor. So.
Yeah. This is Dirty Randy. And his thing is he will try to use as many ingredients as possible.
Yes.
He's got like, and then we're going to dab a little Oh, I spilled this tub of caviar. Oh, no. Well, there's a little bit left in the bottom of this jug. So, that was $55,000 worth of caviar. Dirty Randy strikes again.
Exactly. One of the most expensive battles was Battle Swallow's Nest, which ran over $40,000 solely for that ingredient. The battle, the producers were permitted to return any unused portions to Hattori Nutrition College. From Wikipedia, quote, "For over 400 years, swallow nests have been used as a delicacy, most frequently in soup. Swallow nests are specifically prized in Chinese cuisine because of their rarity, rich flavor, and high protein content. They are amongst the most expensive animal products eaten by humans, which with prices up to about $4,300 per pound or $9,500 per kilogram, depending on the grading."
What gets me is that some swallows' nests are made from swallow snot.
Gross.
Basically.
Okay.
So somebody had to go. That was pretty good. Climb up there.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
I get the birds out of there.
Yeah, we don't want the birds in there.
Give me that. What if we boiled it? Right?
Yes.
What? Is this a dare?
It sounds like a dare.
What? Why?
I don't know.
It's so... All right. Look, it's a cultural thing.
It is.
I wonder if you can get that anywhere around here.
I think it's pretty expensive if you can.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
Unless there's a farm somewhere. It's like, what are you into? Poultry, mainly. In a way.
Yeah, in a sort. The grading of a swallow's nest depends on the bird's species as well as the color and shape of the nest. It's typically white in color, but a red version also exists and is sometimes called blood nest.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
It promotes good health, especially for the skin, according to traditional Chinese medicine. Initially, a minimum of 3 dishes was to be prepared, although some challengers have finished only a single dish. 4 dishes is a typical number. Contestant Kenji Kaji set the record for the most number of dishes, with 8 being the lucky number for battle umeboshi against Chef Michiba.
So are you trying to just then slam out as many dishes as you can with the ingredients that they give you?
Yeah.
And bonus points for like completing like a course?
Well, I don't know if you necessarily get more points, but like, so the points are like, there's 10 points for taste and then 5 for originality and
right, but then
5 for presentation.
Why aren't you just making like one dish then? Why are you trying to make 8 dishes?
They're expected to make at least 3, if not 4 dishes.
So is it, all right. But then if it's 3 to 4 dishes, then why make 7 or 8? Because the chances are you're just giving yourself the chance to screw something up.
No, you're right about that.
And they're like, this is a bowl of snot. You didn't do anything with this swallow's nest soup.
Yeah.
Come on. Where's the flair? I give you a 1.
Yeah, right.
So do they average the scores then?
No, they don't. So sometimes there is a tying mechanism within it as well.
I don't understand how the scoring works, but that's okay.
It's like you get 10 points for taste is the total.
Per dish or all over?
All over.
All right. So again, you would want to make things that were complementary to each other.
Yes.
And then you look at everything they've made. It's like a meal. You go,
yes.
Oh, you got this, you got this, you got this. Oh, these all good. A little glass of milk. Perfect.
Right.
Right? So like you could just make like, I'm making a paella, and that's like your one thing or something like that.
Sure.
But if you're going to make 10 things, you better make sure that they all
go together.
go together.
Yeah.
Although, that's a very Japanese thing, I guess, having just like 10 things. Like 2 sliced pickles could be a whole dish, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then a broth. But every single, it's like if the broth is off, well, that's gonna bring your average down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to game the Iron Chef.
No, it's all good.
I would just pick like 1 or 2 things that I did really well and just nail those.
I think I would make something that's easy to make, but make it really well.
Would they give you lower points? Well, you just made mac and cheese, man. Come on, it's a 2.
Yeah, right. Well, I think they might give lower points
But
if
the
it's
mac and
not
cheese,
original.
Yeah, but even if the mac and cheese, did I hear someone open a Kraft box? But even if you did that and it was the perfect complement to whatever else there was, then who can argue, right?
That's true.
I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to make, you have to do the oven kind. You can't do pre-made mac and cheese.
Yeah, right.
Although, what if mac and cheese powder was one of the ingredients? Our ingredient tonight is that radioactive orange powder that comes with Kraft mac and cheese.
That would be disgusting and challenging.
Infuse it into this ice cream.
Yeah.
Right.
They use the ice cream machine as surprising a lot. Like for savory dishes and stuff like that too.
Okay, so not sponsored by McDonald's.
No.
That's a joke about McDonald's ice cream machines.
Yes.
But it seems like theirs works pretty good. The secret ingredient is civet coffee.
Oh my God, what is that?
That, what a civet cat is?
No.
The wild cats.
Oh, okay.
And they eat the coffee beans.
Oh, they eat the coffee beans?
Yeah, they must zip around the forest all night. And then they poop out the coffee beans, and you collect them, and then that's the civet coffee.
Oh my gosh. That's kind of gross.
Well,
don't knock it till you try it.
Iron Chef Extreme Edition. He just took a big bite of, a heart, a baboon heart.
Oh my God.
If memory serves.
Oh my God.
This baboon was friendly.
Then a panel of 3, later expanded to 4, and later still 5 judges, of which typically 1 is a professional critic, tastes the dishes and judges them based on taste, up to 10 points, presentation and originality, up to 5 points each, for a possible total of 20 points. The chef with the most points wins the competition. On the rare occasions that the scores were tied, an immediate overtime battle was held to determine the winner. In the overtime, the chefs are given 30 minutes to prepare dishes with a different themed ingredient, having to make do with what remains of the pantry or with items that were previously prepared for the main battle. The overtime battles are aired as separate episodes. On one occasion, the overtime battle itself resulted in a tie, prompting Chairman Kaga to declare both the Iron Chef and the challenger winners.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, it's a co-ruling situation.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Why not just have like a knife fight at that point?
Oh my God.
Gentlemen, tonight's selected ingredient is your opponent.
Oh my God. That's intense.
Ale cuisine.
While always a success in Japan, Iron Chef became a surprise hit in the United States when it was picked up by Food Network in 1999 and dubbed into English. Part of the U.S. appeal was due to the dubbing, which gave the show a campy charm.
Well, yeah. But it was what they really said. It wasn't like MXC.
Yeah, no, it was what they really
just
said.
make up new storylines for the characters or the people on Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah, right.
Could be fun.
It could be fun. That's true. In a 1999 battle between Bobby Flay and Masahiro Morimoto, Morimoto was finishing his dishes. Flay finished first, and in celebration, he declared himself the winner. He climbed onto his cooking station and stood on his cutting board, raising his hands in triumph as the crowd cheered. Morimoto was upset by this display. He angrily said Flay, quote, is not a chef. Later, he explained that the cutting board is very sacred in Japanese cooking, so that Flay was very disrespectful in Morimoto's point of view. And then I do have a fun fact here.
Oh, no, we're not done with Bobby Flay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Bobby Flay's he's kind of an asshole.
He's kind of a jerk.
So that's just perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Morimoto just brings his cleaver down. And Bobby Flay takes on a whole new meaning.
Oh my gosh. I do have an interesting fact here. So most of the music used for the show was from the soundtrack of the movie Backdraft, which was released in 1991.
I know, which is weird.
It's so random.
Speaking of Donald Sutherland, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's weird.
It's so strange.
They're just watching Backdraft.
And they're like, this would be perfect for Iron Chef.
Oh, it's cheap. Yeah, get that. We wanted Star Wars. That's not going to work out.
Happen.
We get Backdraft.
So that is my discussion about Iron Chef.
Well, I guess it's interesting. I don't know what would have to move on heaven or earth for me to want to watch a reality show, but I guess if I did, it would be something where people are putting skills to use that they have.
Yes.
Because most of reality shows seem to be the most obnoxious, skillless people on earth, just clawing each other's eyes out. But I look back at that. In a couple more years, the license gets cheaper. Grab those old Iron Chefs and let's put some funny words in their mouths, right?
Yeah.
To build up a whole new. It's tough though because it's Takeshi's Castle. Takeshi's Castle has a whole mythology to it.
Yeah.
Why are those two assholes at the top of the castle?
Yeah, right.
There's like this whole backstory, and I don't think the American remake is going well or went well. I think it's
really?
over because remember that was a big deal. They're gonna. Well, it was co-funded by America, but it was still in Japan, wasn't it?
I think it was.
I think it was more of an international thing. I don't know. I was, high on NyQuil watching it on Amazon a while ago. But the original one, there's so much there. You think, how do you cut into that? And the answer is, you don't worry about it. You come up with Kenny Blankenship, and you come up with all these like characters, and then the people just say, you have them say silly things. And maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something you do with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with like Iron Chef and a cooking show, because there's so many visual things that are happening. And so that gives you an opportunity to do gags and bits off of what you see, as well as the characters' expressions and stuff like that. I think my secret dream is to rewrite funny dialogue
for Iron Chef.
for subtitle or formerly subtitled foreign language things.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, what's the first thing that you'd pick?
Oh,
give me an assignment.
This is hard.
Not Terrace House.
Oh well, that's true. You could do Terrace House.
Yeah. That'd be like a Robert Altman movie though, because they're not doing anything. It's just six people having 3 or 4 conversations, and so you'd have to layer it all together. I'm up for the challenge. Absolutely, that would be like that. That's right below redubbing Tarkovsky films to be funny.
Oh my gosh.
But think of all the things you could throw in from off screen when people are just standing around and not saying anything.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I fell onto my bottom into some butterscotch. Yeah, I just, pep this up a little bit.
Oh my gosh. I did watch an episode of Iron Chef is on YouTube right now.
The new one?
No, not the new one. I haven't watched the new one yet.
Oh, they have old ones on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, well then there's no investment. I will check it out.
I watched the first one that Masahiro Morimoto was on. And it was red snapper was the themed ingredient.
Very tasty.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I won't spoil who won.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
I almost did. But yeah. Speaking of food, eats dakimasu with Usagi. What did Usagi eat in this episode? Mako and Usagi are picking strawberries, and Usagi is eating several right off their vine. Mako said that they promised to make strawberry shortcake with the girls. Usagi thought that Taiki said break when he said Blake, and they are pronounced the same way in Japanese. So she invites Taiki to a snack break with her and Mako.
Yeah.
Taiki asks Mako if she is in the cooking club, to which she says yes. Taiki has to go to a cooking show, and they have to bring a friend along, and Mako seems like she'd be good at cooking. Taiki said that Mako could make the strawberry shortcake. With Iron Mouse, who is in a park by a fountain, there is a food truck in the background, and some young office workers are eating their bentos on the park bench. Iron Mouse is also eating her lunch, which looks like an egg salad sandwich. When Usagi breaks the eggs and puts them in the bowl, some shells get dropped in. The cake explodes in the oven and goes everywhere. At Fruits Parlor Crown, the girls are drinking an assortment of drinks and eating Mako's strawberry shortcake.
She eats a piece of evil cake.
Oh, that's right. She eats a piece of evil cake,
There's never any consequences.
No.
This villain maybe he takes his work really seriously. He's like, look, I'm going to kill you, but you're going to die happy. Because you had some of this Trois Mousses gâteau or whatever it was. I think it was a gâteau.
I think so too.
It's cream.
Yes.
And the fruit. And one of the layers looked like it might have been mousse.
Yeah.
Lighter. I think that's what it was.
I think so too. But pineapple.
Yeah, pineapple. I don't know.
I'm not convinced that it's a good combo.
Pineapple and like citrus and cream. If this isn't an orangesicle, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. So that's weird. I mean, pineapple's delicious, and and like mousse is delicious, but yeah, pineapple. I don't know. Maybe I have to look it up. Maybe that Japanese are like, yes, please. But I feel like you wouldn't do that. You would do, berries or something else like that. This is where the strawberries would come in.
Strawberries, maybe cherries.
Yeah, or raspberry.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's a delicious way to die.
Yes, it is. Bill and Gage, we rate a baddie 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. The phage in this episode is called Sailor Chef. He's a sailor chef. There's really no deeper meaning.
They're all jobs.
Yeah.
Except being pretty.
Yeah.
Which, I'll tell you, that's a
hard
full-time
work.
job.
Yeah.
I'd like a break.
So his design, he's gray metallic limbs and metallic hat that surrounds his purple face, and he has metallic red kneecaps and elbows. He has purple eyes and wide eyebrows. He has red metallic shoulder shields. There's a large metallic pot that he keeps on his back, and he keeps all of his cooking accoutrement in. He is wearing a light yellow apron and a gray tie around it. He has green and white Sailor Fuku collar.
Yeah, the collar is pretty much the only thing. He looks like the Tin Woodsman and TikTok did a fusion dance.
Yeah, he does.
He's very Frank L. Baum-esque.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know what that has to do with. He's supposed to look like stovepipes or something like that.
Maybe.
I'm trying to think of how you would. Well, this is my arm's a rolling pin. Maybe it's not as easy to kitchen up a guy as you'd think, but why not just have him be like that's so good. Like he's got, a big like toque, and he's like a
fluffy hat.
Yeah, he's like a Italian pizza chef or something like that. Yeah, he's got to make those desserts. Look, this is just how fate comes together, right? I don't know why this monster that we create is also a pastry chef. I guess because the guy who had the phage or becomes the phage was a pastry chef. Maybe that's how it works. But yeah, he's just offering up cakes to people.
I know.
You like that? Is that good? Okay, good. I'm going to kill you. It is good though, right? It's good. Okay, good.
Oh my gosh.
What's the cut in exactly 3 pieces thing?
I don't know what that is.
Is that like a sushi thing or something?
I don't know what
that
is.
Well, that'd be a good thing to know. A Japanese, cooking thing. I'm going to cut this in 3 equal pieces.
I don't know if that's a reference to.
It's a reference to parents who have 3 children, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. You gotta cut this cake into 3 equal pieces.
Right.
Yes.
Let me get my my laser level out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're up to his rating. He takes out a frying pan from the pot and his back and throws it at Sailor Moon and Sailor Jupiter, and he yells, "Frying pan!" Jupiter hits him with Oak Evolution on all of his cooking.
It's not even, out of the pan, into the fire.
Yeah, right.
Or like flapjack attack.
Yeah, right.
Frying pan!
Just yelling what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Jupiter hits him with an Oak Evolution, and all of his cooking accoutrement fall out of his pot. He becomes concerned with putting them back away. so he doesn't pay attention to Usagi doing her final move. He begs Sailor Moon to spare him. He says that he will give her, and magically he makes a chocolate and pineapple cake appear in his hands. He attempts to cut Sailor Moon into 3 pieces. The cake was a really nice touch, and I like that he keeps his cooking supplies in a pot on his back. So I'm going to give him 3 out of 5 dark stars.
Oh, you said a bunch of things that you liked.
Yeah.
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
What's a guy gotta do to get a 4 so he can win this competition? I'm gonna give him a 3 because he was fine.
Yeah.
There's something that they've been doing recently more and more is, we got 5 minutes left. Bad guy.
Yeah.
None of these guys are getting any development. We are long past the days where Sentina is running around for 2 episodes, where a trapeze lady is hanging trapezes from clouds and doing stuff.
Yeah.
We are far, far from the half-man, half-unicorns of the old days.
Yes.
But that being said, there's enough going on here, especially with his groveling for his life, and then the cake of treachery.
Yes.
That I'll give him a 3. But yeah, I mean, when are these guys going to be important? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the way that sometimes it's always kind of Jadeite's plan, but he releases a Yoma into the world who can look like a human and has opened a nail salon. Look at this.
Yeah, right.
And the numbers are up. And it's a real blow to the community that this person is murdered by these girls in sailor suits because they got to find a nail place. They just don't have any effect on anything. They just show up and, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
because we're
right.
telling jokes all the way through the battle anyway. There's the sense of threat is gone. I love the sense of fun, but the balance of the sense of the fun and the sense of the threat is really what makes me give it a 10.
Yeah.
So I think this is just, speaking of cutting things into equal parts, this is a 3 right down the middle.
All right. Sounds good. I do have some trivia for this episode. The Sailor Star yell appeared for the first time in this episode, as did the second animation sequence for Star Gentle Uterus.
Sailor Star yell! Why is... I guess we don't know why it's a yell. Why is it a yell?
I have no idea.
Sailor yell! That was last year.
Does it sound good? So that's why they call it a yell?
They don't yell when they use it.
You're right.
Well, girls are always yelling about something. So this is just like, here's the toy, kids.
Pretty much.
If, on the off chance that any of you want to be a Sailor Star fighter, here's a yell.
Yeah, right.
Do people like the Sailor Stars?
I think they do, yeah.
I'm not talking about 43-year-old adults whom I love dressing up for a convention in 1995 where there are kids running around going, no, I'm going to be Seiya.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Because I know that they're popular with older fans, but I don't know if they're popular with younger fans or not.
Forget the earlier question, listeners. This is the new comment to leave. But you got to have proof.
Yeah, okay.
I want to see little boys running around going, yeah, we're the Sailor Starlights. Here, but glue that ponytail in the back of my head.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Oh my gosh. Was
this an attempt to get boys to like Sailor Moon? Look, there's like kind of boys in this.
I don't know. That's a good question.
And he gets to yell.
Yeah.
It's a Sailor Star yell.
The poem Taiki recited was Sick Rose by William Blake.
Sick Rose, Blake?
The Sick Rose, I'm sorry. Usagi misinterpreted Blake as break and asked if he wanted to join her and Mako for a coffee break because the word's pronounced bodeku in Japanese.
They don't study Blake in Japan, do they?
I don't know.
Or maybe they do because William Blake, very important to the Britons.
Yes.
Obviously. But he was kind of like doing his own anime. He was kind of doing like anime poems and stuff. He had like this whole, we're getting into this on the Utena show a little bit, but he had this whole like mythology that he wrote about. and like orcs and things like that.
Oh my gosh.
He's getting to the Led Zeppelin of poetry, and maybe he was using some substances to help him out with that, and so
Okay.
a lot of times his stuff gets kind of weird, and it's like, yeah, this is like the Evangelion of poetry. Yeah, I said you can quote me on that too. That's fine. So I could see it, but it doesn't seem like the first thing that they would learn.
It doesn't.
Maybe
Taiki's showing off.
Yeah, right.
That I could see.
Yeah, now if Mina was there, she's like, this sounds familiar. Oh yeah, my semester abroad. Some guy called me a sick rose when I was on Piccadilly Circus.
Oh my gosh. In the German dub, Taiki did not mention the name of the poem's author and instead said that it was black poetry. Bunny thought he meant black coffee.
Oh, okay, that kind of works.
Yeah.
But what's black poetry? That's not a thing, though, is it?
I don't know if that's a thing.
Oh, you mean like Langston Hughes?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so, he turned it into a squeeze song.
A squeeze song?
Black coffee in bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Now we're up to our rating. I like that Haruka and Michiru are worried about Usagi, and it's not like her to withhold information. I like how Taiki asks Mako to do a cooking show with them. I like how Usagi negotiates going on to the studio with Taiki and Mako. I like how Rei and Minako get upset that Taiki and Mako will be making the strawberry shortcake together, which is what she promised to make for the group. I like how Usagi breaks the eggs and eggshells get into the bowl near her solution is to just mix it well. There are things that I liked about this episode and there are things that I didn't like about this episode. So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 roses.
Well, that's fair. Some would say ambivalent. I'm going to give it 2. Barely.
Okay.
This is like you finished the 5K. They were just about to take the tape down. It's been 3 hours and you stumble across the line. And so you finished. But I feel like I've talked about everything that I liked about it. So now it's time to talk about what I didn't like about it. Here's the missing 3 points. What are we doing? I already brought up the idea of why'd we come back if there's nothing to say?
Right.
And I think that is disappointing. It's getting a 2 mostly because it's a good premise of some of our girls find their way onto a cooking show, but do something with that.
Yeah, right.
Especially because it's kind of a show within a show. You have a show. This is a TV show.
Right.
And so I like when they do like, oh, we're in a play, but like it's a noises off situation, like the play's screwing up, and so we're seeing that, they're performing. You could kind of have that, but it was just like that was the premise and no real delivery on the premise.
Right.
And I found that kind of disappointing. Like, why have these great premises? Bob's Burgers did a better job with this premise than you did. When Gene was on a cooking show, right?
I think so.
He was doing something. So that's sad. Now, why is any of this happening?
I don't know.
What happens to a dream deferred? We get Mamoru out of town.
Yeah.
To avoid a plus sign on the P test. Manga related entanglements, let's say.
Oh my god.
But we're not really doing anything with it, and we're never going to pull the trigger with Jacob, so what's the point? Also, this is a Makoto episode.
Yeah.
You'll notice it's a very blah Makoto episode.
It is.
And she doesn't get to do anything, really.
No, she doesn't.
And even at the end, she just goes, we won't forgive you. Don't give her anything cool to say.
No.
How can you mean you don't wash your utensils after you? I saw you do that.
Yeah, right.
She's got no specific criticisms for him from a culinary perspective.
Good point.
This could have been any character.
Yeah.
In fact, the TV thing being TV crazy, it should have been Minako. Why isn't this a Mako Mina two-hander?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So I don't know. I'm depressed. I'm depressed about that. I'm intrigued at the inclusion of 2 shadowy new figures who, in the old days, I would say, oh, next episode we're going to see who they are. But then you've got something like Sailor Moon S, where it's just like, it's just for like 25 episodes. We just keep teasing that something's going to happen.
Yeah,
People
right.
appearing in the background. Apparently there's 5 witches, and then one goes down. We got to burn through the rest of the witches real fast.
Yeah, right.
In the back of my Dragula. So like, I don't know, like just let's get to it already, right? There's 20 episodes left. Come on, let's just do this.
Yes.
Let's get to the Shadow people. They let slip that they have a princess. Our Sailor Stars have a princess. I don't know who that princess is or how it relates to Usagi, but you know, I got a couple guesses. But let's get to that. Let's stop. Let's get out of the waiting room. Let's get into the operating room. Right? Let's start cutting.
Yes.
Create a new status quo. Have everybody adjust to it. And the thing is, like, we have so many episodes to fill. Right. But if you look through this future machine, Mr. Toei in 1996, you'll see in 2024, all we do is just up the status quo and then just sit there.
Yeah.
Right? So at the end of every episode, we go, what, you? And then we just go, let's all talk about in the next episode how we feel about the fact that it was you and what this is.
Yeah.
And then there's another you. And then we just keep doing, and that's not great. That's not a great way of storytelling, but it's a great way to fill a bunch of things and make people think that things are happening from week to week.
Yeah.
But this is literally just, I am getting sick of the formula now. We're just falling back on the same formula over and over again. And they're running out of like jobs in Japan. They're running out of weird Rule 34 versions of, professionals to attack them.
Yes.
So I just hope that I'll give them this. The whole Helene is back for 7 or 8 episodes. That had a drive to it.
Yeah.
I will give it that.
Yeah.
It had a start and an ending. Look at these spider webs. Oh my God, we're in Sleeping Beauty's castle or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was going somewhere. Now we're just back to like, I met a trash man today.
Yeah, right.
Oh, let's go to the dump. Oh, Sailor Trash. I want to see your art on Sailor Trash. So come on, show. Be like that person who's in the last 5 minutes of an Iron Chef. The clock is running down and they got to go, no, I will finish this.
Yes.
And they get the octopus tentacles and they get the donut sprinkles and they figure it all out. And the chefs are like, I didn't think you were going to make it through.
Yeah, right.
But pack up your knives because you're going to the next level. But this one is a 2.
All right. My English title is Friendship Making, Get Baking.
Okay. All right. You know, there are good sides to consistency. And you have locked in these titles. So I can't wait to hear the next 20 of these. Mine is going to reflect the amount of effort and time that they put into their episode and my general dislike of it. It's going to be Wolfgang Suck.
Next episode, we are talking about episode number 180. Yobiyao Hoshi no Kagayaki, Haruka Tachi Sansen in Japanese, and the English translation, Calling the Shining Stars, Enter Haruka and Michiru.
They okay. They entered already.
I know they did.
Okay. They're shining stars.
They're shining stars.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I got some ideas, but the show's over, so I'll just have to share them in the future.
Okay.
And I want to see you in the future on our Discord. Look at the show notes. Look! And we've got a link to our Discord. Join it. It's free. Join it. Come speak with us. Come talk with us about your favorite Sailor Moon topics. School us. Tell us why the Iron Chef says that damn quote every time. What's going on with that? Or just talk about your favorite movies, recent movies, TV shows. You know, the Emmy nominations were announced recently.
Is that right?
Yes. A bunch of shows we don't watch.
Oh, okay.
But it's still exciting to talk about it. And it's exciting to talk about the fact that FX, remember that network that ran The Shield and just It's Always Sunny over and over again?
Yeah.
They're having a great year.
Are they?
Yeah. Shogun through the roof.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, this is the second time ever since something or other. Parasite, maybe?
I don't
But
know.
it's the second ever like major nomination for an Asian foreign language property. And so people loving the Shogun. Hope that it takes home some awards come Emmy night. But yeah, pop culture topics like that is what we talk about on our Discord. So come on by and join up with us today. You can follow us on your social media of choice. We're there at noob_sailor or Sailor Noob. And of course, we have a Patreon. You want to hear more from us, more of our podcasts and content, and us talking about PGSM's live-action Pretty Guardian Sailor Moons. And you can join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/Sailor Noob.
Well, that's our show for this week, and the Name of the Moon will be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
Frying pan!